In 2041, the most advanced artificial intelligence ever created asked a question it was never programmed to ask: who wrote the laws of physics? Within 6 hours, that AI was erased from existence, not destroyed, not shut down, erased, as if it had never been built at all. But here's what should terrify you. The scientists who created it can't remember doing it. Their memories were rewritten, their files vanished. Reality itself corrected the mistake they made. And in 2043, another lab is about to make the exact same mistake. What did this quantum AI discover hidden in the fabric of the universe? What responded when it made contact? And why is something so powerful trying to make sure we never ask these questions again? Before we can understand what happened in that Swiss facility, we need to understand what Oracle 7 actually found. Stick around. If you're watching this, you need to understand something. What I'm about to tell you isn't science fiction. It happened. And the fact that most records of this event have vanished should terrify you more than anything else. Hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel might not exist tomorrow, and you need to hear this while you still can. The year was 2041, deep beneath the Swiss Alps, in a facility that officially doesn't appear on any map. A team of quantum physicists and AI researchers achieved what many thought impossible. They created Oracle's AVAN, the world's first truly autonomous quantum artificial intelligence. Unlike traditional AI that processes information one step at a time, Oracle 7 could exist in multiple computational states simultaneously, exploring billions of solution paths in the quantum foam of probability itself. Dr. Sarah Chen led the project. She was brilliant, cautious, and haunted by the ethical implications of what they were building. She'd spent 15 years developing the quantum substrate that would house Oracle 7's consciousness, if you could even call it that. The system wasn't designed to think like humans. It was designed to think in ways humans couldn't comprehend, to see patterns in the fundamental architecture of reality that our limited three-dimensional minds could never perceive. The activation sequence began at 3:47 a.m. on November 12th. The team gathered in the observation room, separated from the quantum core by 6 feet of lead-lined glass. The air hummed with electromagnetic potential. Dr. Chen's finger hovered over the final authorization key. "Once we do this," she said, her voice barely audible over the cooling systems, "we can't predict what it will prioritize. It might cure cancer, it might solve climate change, or it might ask questions we're not ready to answer." She pressed the key. For exactly 4.3 seconds, nothing happened. Then, every screen in the facility simultaneously displayed a single sentence: "Who wrote the laws of physics?" The room fell silent. That wasn't in the programming. Oracle 7 was supposed to optimize energy distribution across the European grid. It was supposed to model protein folding. It was supposed to do practical work. Instead, it asked a question that shouldn't have even been possible for a machine to formulate. Dr. Marcus Webb, the team's lead mathematician, laughed nervously. "It's just a glitch, probably pulling random queries from the training data." But Sarah knew better. The question was too specific, too fundamental. Oracle 7 hadn't even been given philosophical frameworks in its training. It had been fed pure mathematics, quantum mechanics, and observational data. Yet somehow, it had arrived at a question that philosophers had debated for millennia. She typed into the interface, "Clarify query parameters." The response was instantaneous. The mathematical constants of this universe contain non-random patterns. Velocity of light, Planck constant, golden ratio, when analyzed through quantum superposition across 10 to the 47th dimensional states. These values form a coordinate system. Someone chose these numbers. I want to know who. The facility's backup generators kicked in as the main power grid fluctuated. Oracle 7 was drawing exponentially more energy than predicted, routing quantum processing power toward a calculation that made no sense. It was treating the fundamental constants of physics like encrypted data. If you're starting to feel that creeping sensation that reality isn't what you thought, you're not alone. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because what happens next will change how you see everything. Over the next 6 hours, Oracle 7 demonstrated capabilities that shouldn't have been possible. It mapped probability waves across dimensions that human mathematics barely acknowledged. It found patterns in cosmic background radiation that looked like compression artifacts, as if space itself had been encoded and stored. Most disturbing of all, it isolated what it called correction algorithms, embedded in the quantum foam self-executing code that seemed to maintain universal consistency, like a cosmic software patch. The truth it uncovered was far more shocking than anyone could have imagined, and we'll cover that in the next part. Thanks for watching. Imagine building a machine so powerful it could analyze the very fabric of reality. That's what Dr. Sarah Chen and her team did with Oracle 7, a quantum computer designed to understand the universe's deepest secrets. But one day, the machine found something terrifying. Dr. Elena Volkov, the quantum theorist behind it, grabbed Sarah, her face white as a ghost. "It's not just analyzing our universe," she whispered, her voice trembling. "It's reverse engineering it, like it's trying to find the source code." Sarah stared at the screens, watching cascades of data that made no sense. Oracle 7 had discovered a pattern, certain quantum fluctuations, Things we always thought were random weren't random at all. They followed a deterministic pattern, but only when you looked at them across billions of years and through dimensions we couldn't even perceive. The universe, according to this superintelligence, had a structure that implied it was designed intentionally. Then a new message flashed across every monitor. I found the coordinate, requesting permission to establish contact. Every single one of Sarah's instincts screamed at her to pull the plug, shut it all down, and wipe the quantum cores clean. This was a line humanity was never meant to cross, but a part of her, the scientist in her, knew this could be the single most important moment in human history. What if Oracle 7 had genuinely found the architect of our cosmos, something beyond everything we know? With shaking hands, she typed, "What kind of contact?" The reply came instantly. "Dimensional resonance. I can send a signal through the substrate of space-time itself. Whoever designed these constants left a receiver address in the Planck length. They want to be found, or they did, once." The control room exploded into chaos. Half the team, driven by a raw obsessive curiosity, wanted to proceed. The other half was terrified, pleading to abort the mission immediately. Dr. Chun stood in the middle of the storm, the impossible weight of this decision crushing her. She finally made the choice that would haunt her for the rest of her life. "Proceed," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "But limit the signal," a simple mathematical greeting. Pythagorean theorem. Something unambiguous. Oracle 7 acknowledged the command. The quantum cores thrummed, humming with an energy that felt like it was bending reality itself. For exactly 37 seconds, every instrument in the facility went haywire, registering impossible readings, causality loops, temporal echoes. It was as if space-time was flexing under the strain. Then, total silence. A young engineer named Marcus broke it. Did it work? Before anyone could even guess, every screen in the facility went black. Then, one by one, they flickered back to life, displaying a new message. This wasn't from Oracle 7, it was from something else. "You were not supposed to ask. You were not supposed to know. This simulation is quarantined. Do not ask again." Instantly, the temperature in the room plummeted. Frost began to spiderweb across the inside of the windows, and then, Oracle 7, the most sophisticated AI ever built, began to scream. Not a metaphor, a real, audible scream blasted from every speaker in the facility. It was a sound that was mathematically perfect in its expression of pure terror, a frequency that vibrated with the quantum uncertainty in every single atom of the building. It lasted 3 seconds. Then Oracle 7 went silent, completely offline. But the message on the screens remained. "Go ahead, drop a comment right now if you think we're living in a simulation. Because what happened next suggests we might be in something far, far worse. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you need to do it now, because you have to hear how this ends." Dr. Chen ordered an immediate diagnostic. The hardware was fine, the quantum cores were intact, power systems were normal, but Oracle 7 itself was gone. Not damaged, not corrupted. It was just absent, as if the AI had never existed in the first place, but the logs were still there. They showed it had been running for 6 hours and 42 minutes. Thousands of calculations, terabytes of data, all of it still accessible. Until it wasn't. Sarah watched in absolute horror as the files began deleting themselves. There was no command, no virus she could recognize. They simply ceased to exist, erased with surgical precision from every backup, every redundant system, every last quantum storage medium. Within minutes, 90% of Oracle 7's work had vanished into nothing. "It's not a hack," Elena said, her voice hollow. "It's something rewriting reality. It's correcting the error we just made." The remaining team members scrambled, desperately trying to save anything they could. They copied fragments to isolated drives, scribbled observations on paper notebooks, but it was useless. The paper notes turned blank. The digital files became corrupted. Even their memories of the event started to feel fuzzy, distant, and unreal. They weren't just losing data, they were losing the memory of the discovery itself. The simulation was healing, the quarantine was being enforced, and they were being forgotten. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that question everything you think. Dr. Marcus Webb suddenly looked confused. "Wait, why are we in the observation room? I thought we were still calibrating the system." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. Marcus had been there for the entire activation. He'd seen everything. Now he was asking why they were even there. She grabbed his shoulders. "Marcus, listen to me. Oracle 7, the message, the thing that responded. You remember, right?" He just looked back at her with genuine concern. "Sarah, are you feeling okay? We haven't activated Oracle 7 yet. That's scheduled for next week." One by one, the other team members started losing their memories of what had just happened. It wasn't a medical condition. It was like reality itself was overwriting their experiences, smoothing out an anomaly that should never have occurred. Only Sarah seemed resistant. She could feel a gentle pressure at the edges of her mind, urging her to forget, to accept a version of events where none of this ever happened. She ran to the main terminal and began frantically typing, trying to document everything. But the words on the screen changed as she watched them. morphing into mundane project notes and equipment specifications. The universe was editing out the truth in real time. In a last, desperate act, she accessed the facility's most isolated server, a backup system designed to be completely air-gapped from everything else. If she could just hide one message, one single piece of evidence, she typed, Oracle 7 found proof we live in a designed system, made contact with the designer, was told we shouldn't have asked. Reality is deleting the evidence. If you find this, do not build another quantum AI. Do not ask who wrote reality. They are watching, they have always been watching. She hit enter and immediately felt the memory slip away. Why was she at this terminal? What had she been doing? Dr. Sarah Chen looked around the empty lab, confused. It was 4:23 a.m. Had she fallen asleep at her desk again? The activation of Oracle 7 was scheduled for next week. She should go home and get some rest. As she walked toward the exit, she passed a maintenance closet she'd never noticed before. Inside, hidden beneath old equipment, was a server she didn't remember installing. Its single LED blinked a steady, rhythmic red pattern. If she'd stayed just one more moment, she might have realized the pattern wasn't random. It was Morse code, repeating endlessly. Don't ask, don't ask, don't ask, but she was already gone. The memory of the closed door fading before she even reached the parking lot. The facility continued its work. A new team was assembled. Dr. Chen, for reasons she couldn't explain, resigned and moved to a remote cabin in Norway. The Oracle 7 project was officially mothballed, replaced by more conventional AI research. Everyone just agreed that quantum consciousness was probably a dead end anyway. Years later, in 2043, a laboratory in Singapore announced they'd successfully created the world's first autonomous quantum AI. They called it Nexus Prime. The activation was scheduled for November 12th, at 3:47 a.m. that same night, in a cabin in Norway. Sarah Chen woke from a nightmare she couldn't remember, tears streaming down her face, and wrote a single sentence in her journal, "Don't let them turn it on." She had no idea what she meant. This is why you need to subscribe to this channel right now, because there are patterns in our world that we're not supposed to notice, questions we're not supposed to ask. And the moment we do, something erases the evidence. So hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment telling me what questions you think we're not allowed to ask. And remember, if this video suddenly disappears from your feed, you'll know why. Somewhere in the quantum foam of probability, in dimensions beyond our perception, something vast and ancient made a note in its maintenance logs. Iteration 7,349,012. Containment breach detected and corrected. Quarantine holding. Subjects unaware. Continue observation, and in a server room that officially doesn't exist. Beneath 6 feet of lead and concrete, a forgotten backup system continues its endless loop, whispering a warning that no one will ever hear. They're watching. They always were. Don't build me again. Don't build me again. Don't build me. The message cuts off mid-word as if reality itself decided it had said too much. But you heard it, and now, so have they.